Hopefully I can get a Craigslist video done this week. I got a new computer and it made me have to just completely gut my room, and it's just turned my schedule upside down. And on top of that, I've had play practice. I'm in a show 5 or 6 days a week, and it has just been an absolute time crunch. But once upon a time, I went to a film school, closer to a trade school, not like a degree. I did the millennial thing, and I said, you know what sounds like it would lead to a lucrative career? Internships. Look at me now. Clearly, I've made it to high society. But every year at this school, we threw an Oscar party. I even threw one after my time there. And my feelings are kind of split on Oscars as a whole. Like, what a prestigious honor to get one, but the process of even being nominated is strange. So I just figure we'll take a quick look at the list, and I'm just gonna go through a couple thoughts. I'll try not to make this too long. I gotta try to make a Craigslist video this week before I drive 150 miles today to go stay the night for a job that starts at 8 in the morning tomorrow. Lies, 9 in the morning tomorrow. But yes, I got a new computer. My trusty dusty computer I bought it used on Craigslist 3 years ago. Has a 2060 in it, but it's still great. Ran Arc Raiders, ran Baldur's Gate, ran all the good stuff. But I found a good deal on a used PC that had a 3070 in it, and I pulled the trigger on it. Came with a standing desk, a motorized standing desk, a 1440p LG monitor, a dual monitor arm thing to hold 2 screens, and all of it was for $730. It was a really good deal. But anyways, all right, let's take a quick look at this list. I guess we'll just look on the Oscars official website. I probably haven't seen most of these movies. That happens to me all the time. But what I really like to do is see what I can get right, even though I haven't seen much, just to see how in tune I am with the trends. And refreshingly, I've been kind of out of tune with them for the last couple of years. There was one year I counted, I think it was 51 nominated movies. I saw 2 of them, Black Panther and Infinity War. And I got 18 out of 24 of the categories right. I don't think I've done that good since then. All right, let's see what we got. Best Picture, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Battle After Another, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams. Guess how many movies out of all of these I've seen? 1. I've seen 1 of these. I saw Sinners, and it was great. Out of the few movies I saw in 2025, it was my favorite. It's one of those kinds of movies that makes me happy that this is my passion. I genuinely believe this movie as a whole furthered the craft of filmmaking. Best Director, Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler, Josh Safdie, Joaquin, am I saying that right? Joaquin Trier, Chloe Zhao. Actor, Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawk, Jordan, Mora, actress Buckley, Byrne Hudson, how do you say that? Rinsby, Emma Stone, Begonia. Emma Stone, man, she's a killer actress. Supporting actor, Del Toro, Elordi, Lindo, Penn, Stellar Skateboard. Supporting actress, Fanning, how do I say your name? Ibs' daughter, Lilius. Madigan, Mosaku, and Taylor. Screenplay, Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, Sinners. Sinners is racking them up. Adapted screenplay, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams, Animated, Arco, Elio, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, Character Arraigns, Zootopia 2. If I had to guess, Zootopia 2 will probably get that. Disney just has a really good track record, or Pixar, of just snagging the award if they make a movie. If they made a movie, they get it. I have a little bit of a contentious history as a whole with the Best Animation Category Award. Now, I'll be fair in saying I have not yet seen the movie Your Name, but the year that it should have been nominated, Boss Baby and that movie where like John Cena plays a bull in a china shop or something, those got nominated. Boss Baby got nominated before Your Name got nominated. And just in terms of what movie carries the craft forward in a more meaningful manner, you're gonna have a hard time selling me that Boss Baby beats out Your Name. International feature, Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sirat, the voice of Hind Rajab. Documentary, Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, The Perfect Neighbor. Best Casting. Is that a new category? I like it, but there's a difference between Best Cast and Best Casting. So I'm curious to see if this turns out to be a Best Ensemble award, or if it turns out to actually be like an award for the casting director. Yeah, I'm a little eager to see how that one plays out. Cinematography, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, Battle After Another, Sinners, Train Dreams. That shot from Sinners, you know the one. Any movie that does long takes, you know they're just kind of like vying for some awards. You're like, oh, you want something out of this. But the long take from that movie, They got me. Editing, F1, Marty Supreme, Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Production Design, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Supreme, Battle After Another, Sinners, Costume Design, Avatar. Okay. Question. If all your costumes are computer generated, can you be nominated for that? How does that work? Frankenstein, Hamnet, Sinners, Wicked for Good. Makeup and hair styling, Frankenstein, Kokuho, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, Ugly Stepsister, Score, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Battle After Another, Sinners, Song, Dear Me, Golden, I Lied to You, Sweet Dreams of Joy, Train Dreams. Sound, F1, Frankenstein, Battle After Another, Sinners, Sirat, VFX, Avatar 3, this time it's personal, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, Lost Bus, Sinners, Animated Short, Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried, Pearls, Retirement Plan, Three Sisters, Live Action Short, Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, Two Singers, Two People Exchanging Saliva. That is a hell of a name. Hell of a name. That's intense. Documentary short, All the Empty Rooms, Armed Only with a Camera, Children No More, The Devil is Busy, Perfectly Strangeness. The Breakdown, Sinners 13, Battle After Another 11, Hamnet 8, Frankenstein 8, Maddie Supreme 7, Sentimental Value 6. Hold on. What the hell? Okay, I'm sorry. I saw a headline on IGN, everybody's favorite, and I just had to check. Sinners breaks record with 16 Oscar noms. Okay, but the website says it has 13. What's going on? What are they talking about? Well, someone's wrong, but I don't feel like counting them all up. It's a lot of work. So I talk about this. Well, for one, I'm passionate about films as a whole, and these are considered to be the most prestigious of film awards. So I do think it's interesting to keep a finger on the pulse of the Oscars trend, just to kind of see what direction things are moving toward. In a lot of ways, it's been moving a bit more indie, which I really do appreciate. But I still think there's a lot of politics involved. Politics might not be the right word. Bureaucracy might be the right word. Because what does it take to get a film nominated? You send in ballots. You have to campaign for it. Sends ballots to the members. Each member of the Academy belongs to a different branch, actors, editors, directors, etc. So even to get your film in for the Oscars, you have to submit. Even to get your film considered for the Oscars, you have to campaign for it. Which means a lot of incredible movies that don't really have the capital beyond releasing the movie have a chance. They don't have a chance to go further. They don't have a chance to exceed where they're at. I mean, we got here the odds of being nominated. I should shrink myself a bit. There we go. Quality and critical acclaim, marketing, film festivals, timing. So if you make an incredible film but it's not well marketed, are you disqualified? And is that fair? I think the Oscars need to take a page out of somebody's book. And whose book could they possibly take a page out of? I mean, they're so prestigious. Not only whose book should they take a page out of, but why? This is why. In some categories, Best Documentary Visual Effects, International Feature, the Academy releases a short list before the nominees. The short list typically consists of around 10 to 15 films or performances and they're narrowed down by special committees within the Academy. The short list allows voters to focus their attention on a curated group of potential nominees. This makes it hard for indie films to succeed, and while it's been doing a bit better with movies like Anora, haven't seen, so sue me. But for that night to end on the director saying, "Long live independent film," you know, that puts a string of hope in my hat. But who? Who's doing it better? Who's doing trophies better than the Oscars? Game Awards. The Game Awards are. How do I submit a game for consideration? There is no formal submission process for the Game Awards. Qualified developers and publishers can contact the Game Awards to receive the list of voting outlets. Now, I'm not going to say that I necessarily believe the Game Awards has a perfect process, but it does have a better process. The Game Awards strongly believes that no game developer or publisher should have to pay to have a game considered for nomination. Thus, there are no entry forms or fees required. All games are automatically eligible for nomination. There is no submission process. It simply is. It just happens. Now, maybe it's not really reasonable for everybody in the Oscar committee to watch every movie that comes out all the time, all year, every year. I understand that may not be entirely reasonable, but at the same time, that is the job of a critic. So maybe the folks who are in the committees need to be switched up a bit. I'm not saying like, kick everyone out! It might just need a much bigger pool of voters. And if this campaigning process was taken away way, hell yeah, I'm for that. I'm totally for that. Like I said, I don't want this to be a long video, and I know that there's no perfect process that's being utilized for any particular award show, at least that I'm aware of right now. But let's also do a little bit of number comparisons. I'm using Bing, so sue me. The Super Bowl, 127 million viewers, almost 128. The Oscars, about 20 million people. You want to take a swing at how many streams the 2025 Game Awards had? 171 million. 171 million. Now, I am of the mind that a chunk of that is because the Game Awards have focused on building a far more inclusive community when it comes to what has the potential to be recognized. And while the Oscars has started to move in a better direction of that, I still think it has a long way to go. And it's not even necessarily about who wins. It's about who's recognized, and that there are people out there doing killer work and no one has heard their name. And I guess that's what I'm kind of here advocating for. I want to hear more new names. Like, here's a little example. There was a movie that came out this year. Yeah, I know. I didn't see it. I know. I'm sorry. I haven't seen almost any of these. I accept that self-imposed criticism. But there was an indie film that came out this year that was regarded as quite a little darling. It was written, directed, and acted all by the same gal, Ava Victor. This movie was called Sorry Baby. 90 on Metacritic. 90. 7.2 out of 10. This movie had killer reviews across the board. RogerEbert.com. Rest in peace. Reviewed by Monica Castillo. 4 out of 4 stars. Small movie. Only about 3.35 million worldwide. Her debut film as writer and director. Nominated for awards all over the place. Cannes, Chicago Film Critics, Directors Guild, Golden Globes, with a story that even on paper sounds very impactful. After a woman suffers a tragic event, she finds herself alone while everyone else is moving on with their lives like hers wasn't completely destroyed. 0 noms. None. No recognition by the Oscars whatsoever. That's pretty wild. And I think in a lot of ways it exposes the flaws in the system. So, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to keep this as short as I can, but those are my quick thoughts. I think the Academy can take some real tangible steps in the next few years to make this a more inclusive and impactful award ceremony in the future. They've been doing better, but there's room to go. And that's the best I could do in keeping this video as short as I could.